Back with you on the YD Red Sox Baseball Network. And apologies, fans, a few technical difficulties, but now back live streaming alongside Brad Klein, Will Connerly here with you, and YD. Down 8-1 here in the top of the 8th. So thanks for sticking with us here on YouTube at Reb Wilson Field. Some defensive shifts for YD or movement. Dominic Keegan is catching. Ball chopped back over to Morse. Thrown over to first, but Cade Hunter can't climb the ladder well over his head after he came in to pinch hit last half inning. And it's a base runner aboard on second base to begin the frame for Bourne.
Shortstop number 27, Tanner Scoble.
And Tanner Schobel now up to the plate.
Well, Morse didn't really seem like the kind of pitcher who would field his position especially well. And not because of his skill, but because of the way he throws the baseball. It's a very abnormal delivery when he pitches, and to translate that to a live game experience as basically an infielder, it's a recipe for disaster.
Top of the 8th, YD down by 7. Bourne has 7 hits, 8 runs. YD 4 hits and 1 run. Schobel at the plate. He's 1 for 3 today. Has 10 hits on the season. And 2 home runs. Hit his second home run of the summer in the 4th. So Cody Huff moves over to right field. Chase Luttrell to center. Tanner Smith still in left. Robinson and Graham still on the left side. Hoffman and Hunter on the right side with Morse on the mound. Ball over to Robinson at third. Across the diamond to Hunter at first. And there's one away. You've got Morse on the mound working with Dominic Keegan. First time getting to see him work behind the plate. So Nolan McCarthy went 2/3 of an inning to begin the ball game. 2 hits, 4 earned runs, had 2 walks and a strikeout. Faced 6 hitters, then was yanked, and then Lions from George Mason in his YD debut did pretty well. 4 1/3 and just 1 earned run, and he bridged the gap toward the middle innings as that ball gets behind Dominic Keegan, a breaking ball, and it's runner advancing over to third base now. Joshua Moylan, who advanced to first base to begin the frame on an error by the pitcher, Morse. As he wasn't able to gather the ball and throw it cleanly over to first, it was over the head of Cade Hunter. Swing and a miss by the catcher, Peter Burns. 1 for his last 13, did reach, though, in the second on a free pass. But after Lions went 4 1/3, it was Patel who came in and faced 3 batters. Then was pulled for this right-hander. And Eli Morse, hometown of Portland, Oregon, and pitches for the Portland Pilots. That ball skied to the right side. Wyatt Hoffman under it, then called off by Cody Huff in right field. He gloves it in shallow right to make the play. 2 outs. As Peter Burns is retired, lineup flips back over to Christian Knapczyk, the top of the order here in the 8th. With Bourne leading by 7 runs, and Knapczyk has reached base 3 times. 1 for 2 with a double, 2 walks. He scored a run in the first. First pitch swinging, grounded to the shortstop. Peyton Graham over to first, and the side is retired. No runs, no hits, 1 error and 1 left on in the 8th. We send it to the bottom frame of the 8th next on the YD Red Sox Baseball Network. Back on the YD Red Sox Baseball Network, it's a 8-1 lead for Bourne. Bottom of the 8th, top of the order. Up for YD, it's Wyatt Hoffman.
Leading off for YD, second baseman number 3, Wyatt Hoffman.
Hoffman had a double in the 3rd. And he's hitting incredibly well at Red Wilson Field this year, but at Red Wilson Field hasn't been the only exception. He's, across the board, one of the better hitters in the league statistically as it's fouled back. Walked in the 1st, doubled in the 3rd, and grounded out in the 5th. He's 1 for 2 today, came in 2 today, hitting .316 on the year with 8 runs driven in and 1 home run. YD down by 7. A swing and a miss by Hoffman on the 1-1 offering as Parsley, the right-hander, climbed the ladder, and he's thrown the ball really effectively out of the bullpen today. The 1-2 to Hoffman. Hoffman hits it towards center field. Back on it is Wallace, and he makes the play in center field. On the move back toward the fence, Hoffman retired, and there's 1 out in the 8th.
Well, even though Wyatt Hoffman flies out there, he's been such a godsend for YD offensively. And you wonder where the Red Sox would be right now if Wyatt Hoffman didn't turn it around, and if Wyatt Hoffman was a .250 hitter or something like that, the way he has been in college.
Dominic Keegan takes the first pitch for a strike. 0 for 3 today in his debut with the YD Red Sox. He played for Orleans in 2019, went 0 for 11 in his stint with the Firebirds, and now in 14 at-bats on Cape, 0 for 14, 1 ball and 1 strike. Parsley, though, working well now, 3 1/3 scoreless out of the pen. As the breaking ball misses inside to Dominic Keegan. Making his debut, he's played first and then went back to catch during this ball game. The 2-1 to Keegan, fouled away, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Well, at this point, Keegan has to hit for YD. If they want to make a run in the East and for that CCBL title, seeing just how good Bourne is offensively and seeing how the pitching has struggled recently, and he is absolutely crucial. That's a lot of pressure to put on a guy who is playing in his 2nd stint in the CCBL, and like you mentioned, didn't play particularly well for Orleans in his 1st stint as a Cape Leaguer, and now comes in mid-season and is expected to be the leading hitter.
And for good reason. Hit .345 at Vanderbilt with 56 runs scored and 15 home runs. Was the most outstanding player of the NCAA Nashville Regional. And he gets rung up on an outside fastball by Parsley there. His 4th strikeout recorded as they toss it around the diamond. There's now 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th. Keegan fanned for a 2nd time, and now Tyler Williams will pinch hit for Tanner Smith. Here in the 8th with YD trailing by 7. They only had 4 hits the first time they met Bourne. They have 4 hits right now in the bottom of the 8th as well. And it was a lopsided affair last time at Bourne. A 10-3 victory for the Braves and winning by 7 runs here in the bottom of the 8th. As Tyler Williams is at the plate, fouls it back, a ball and a strike. Swing and a miss by Williams on the high fastball from Parsley. The UNC Greensboro right-hander, 6'1", 185. Swing and a miss again, and Parsley 5 strikeouts, and he's yet to surrender a walk still this season as he completes his 4th scoreless inning of relief out of the bullpen. We send it to the 9th, YD trailing by 7 on the YD Red Sox Baseball Network. Back with you on the YD Red Sox Baseball Network alongside Brad Klein. Will Connerly here with you, and it's the top of the ninth.
Zachary Agnos.
And the reliever, Jacob Medder. They enter Jacob Medder, the right-hander. First pitch misfires. Is YD trailing by 7. Next offering in there for strike 1.
Well, this feels like one of those appearances where YD would want to go to some of their mop-up guys like a Sam Beck or even an Eric Yost. The only difference is both of those guys pitched yesterday, and this is the first time that YD has been in a position 2 consecutive days where they need a mop-up guy like that.
YD 5-5 in their last 10 games, trailing by 7 right now, top of the 9th, and they go to enter Jacob Medder here for the 9th.
But see, that's the ripple effect of not scoring, is that now you have to use Medder in a 7-run game when this is a guy who could probably pitch, not tomorrow because he's pitching right now, but if you told me that he was set to pitch in a 2-run game against Orleans on the road tomorrow, I believe you. So this really puts YD behind the 8 ball for the coming week, really.
Well, his role over the next few games definitely at least moved further back in the bullpen with Ross Dunn starting. So probably out of commission for a few games as he rings up Agnos. Zachary Agnos making a pinch hit appearance, and he's rung up in his first at-bat here in the top of the 9th as Medder retires the first hitter he sees, and Keegan throws it around the horn. Now Dalton rushing to the plate. And he admired the baseball last time he cracked it to right field. Home run to lead off the 7th. His 4th home run of the summer. He's been one of the better players on Cape this summer. They've got a few of them on Bourne. But rushing, he's just really been on a tear. Nine for his last 21. Over the past 6 games. OPS over 1,000 during that span. And the 2-0 pitch from Medder. Fouled away.
So now you wonder for tomorrow, not that Pickler's necessarily going to plan out who he's going to throw, but with Jacob Medder going now, who are those first men out of the bullpen? You'd have to think it might be a Jared Godman day, especially if they need some length behind Adam Meyer. Feel like he might be due to pitch, but this is the game that Scott Pickler is playing in his head, not just managing for today, but managing for the coming days, especially with a team like YD who has to play the long game, trying to figure out their roster, their rotation, their relievers, their lineup, while trying to chase an Eastern Division title.
Right now tied with Brewster. Full count. Here to rushing. Man, Medder delivers the pitch. It's a good breaking ball. Rushing strikes out. Keegan over to first, and there's 2 away. Huff is now in left field. Luttrell in center. Williams in right. Robinson and Graham still on the left side, and Hoffman and Hunter still on the right side as Medder in his first inning of work. And you're right. Their pitchers have been utilized at a high level today. At least in high quantity, Brad. Nolan McCarthy got 2 outs, then Jared Lyons came in 4 1/3. Patel got no outs but faced 3 batters, and then Morse went 3 innings, and now Medder trying to complete an inning. He's got 2 consecutive outs to begin his outing here in the 9th. And facing off against the pinch hitter, Joe Lampe.
And also, I'm sorry to cut you off, Will, in the context of tomorrow against Orleans, which is a very big game at Eldridge, Adam Meyer starting, he's going to have to give them some length. That's going to be a big point of emphasis for him. Again, as I mentioned earlier in the broadcast, there have been times where he's been spotty in terms of length,
All fired right side, but arranging play by Cade Hunter. 1-2-3 ninth for Jacob Metter. And last chance coming up for the YD Red Sox. Down by 7 as we send it to the bottom of the 9th. Next on the YD Red Sox Baseball Network. Back with you on the YD Red Sox Baseball Network, and enter Cade Smith, right-hander for Bourne. On the mound out of the bullpen, and the bullpen pretty friendly to Bourne so far, not only this season but today in particular. Friedling 4 innings, just 1 earned run, and continuing to throw the ball at a very effective rate for Bourne, but followed up by Parsley, who went 4 innings and just surrendered 1 hit. 5 strikeouts, no walks, and Cade Smith making his 3rd appearance of the year, but 2nd against the YD Red Sox. He made his debut on July 10th, coming from Mississippi State. He had to put a ring on his finger before he got here after winning a national title with Mississippi State. But threw an inning and surrendered 1 unearned run and got a strikeout during that frame, surrendering 1 hit. As Cody Huff chops it to short, and a tough play over at short, not able to be made by Schobel, and it's Huff who gets aboard by what is likely going to be called an error. What do you think, Brad?
They do give him an error. Actually, it was an error, but if you could have made an argument, it would be hard to convince me, but I would have listened to you for a hit because it was a very tough play for the shortstop over there, and it was definitely an error, though.
So they get a leadoff base runner. Peyton Graham now to the plate. YD down by 7, but let's take a look around the league. Katuitt leading 7-5, bottom of the 8th against Chatham. You've got Falmouth and Brewster playing right now. Brewster leading 6-3. So if Brewster could win that game in the top of the 8th at Brewster, they would take sole possession of first place in the East Division, but Harwich not close behind them, playing the Hyannis Harbor Hawks, and they're leading 8-4 in the bottom of the 4th. The Harbor Hawks in jeopardy of losing their 11th game in a row. And Orleans and Wareham, it's scoreless in the bottom of the 3rd. And that's your check around the Cape. A nice scoreboard update for you. But Harwich with 21 points. YD and Brewster each with 22. So if Brewster and Harwich win, YD would drop to 3rd in the division. But again, it's just a very closely contested division. As Graham fires it right side foul. 3 points separate the top 4 teams, and Orleans not far behind in 5th place with 17 points. So it's going to be a tight race to the finish. There's 4 teams making the playoffs this year, just the top 2 spots, and a team who you can almost start talking about a magic number is Bourne. They're way ahead in the Western Division. They have 31 points.
Oh, at that point, it's just a race for 2nd place.
And that's exactly what it is in the West. They have 31, and second is Catuit with 20 points. And then Wareham and Falmouth each with 18. So 3 teams competing for that 2nd place spot in the West Division in Catuit, Wareham, and Falmouth, and just 2 points separate those 3 teams. And the Harbor Hawks, who have lost 10 in a row, are 2-17 just with 4 points. But back-to-back base runners here in this frame. And 2 teams from each division, 2 from the East and 2 from the West, the top 2 finishers in the table. 4 of the 10 teams will extend their season beyond the regular season, which ends in early August. And about at the midway point when you start taking a gander at that table, there's Chase Luttrell's at the plate. YD in action tomorrow with Adam Meyer on the mound, and they're going to get a dose of Max Rajic. Rajic going to be making his 5th start of the summer, and he had his worst start of the year against YD. Went 2 2/3 and surrendered 4 earned runs. The UCLA right-hander scheduled to start for Orleans tomorrow at Eldridge Park. YD and Orleans going to meet. As Chase Luttrell's at the plate here against Cade Smith. Luttrell hits this ball left side. Wimmer under it. Doesn't have to move too much, and there's 1 out retired in the bottom of the 9th.
Now batting, third baseman number 15, Crew Robinson.
Crew Robinson to the plate. And Bourne, a team who's obviously paced the division, a storyline that we've talked about throughout the duration of this broadcast. Set to top YD for the 2nd time this season. Just 1 more meeting between these 2 teams, which will occur at Bourne July 28th. A few weeks from now. They coming off a 3-game sweep of Hyannis, trying to win their 4th in a row. Leading by 7 runs in the bottom of the 9th. And Bourne, over the past 5 games, they've outscored their opponents 34-16 and trying to add 7 to that margin, but YD eyeing a comeback bottom of the 9th. Pitch misses upstairs from Smith. YD had Andrew Marrero selected in the MLB draft. Bourne had 5 players drafted. Brandon Dufault also selected during the draft, someone that was released a few days before the draft occurred, and many former alumni across the board in the Cape were selected. That ball cracked to the right side by Robinson. You can't forget about it. He touches them all, and it's a 3-run home run for Crew Robinson, his 2nd hit of the day, 2nd one that goes for extra bases, and a 3-run shot in the bottom of the 9th. It's now 8-4 in favor of Bourne.
Well, Crew Robinson is set to help YD. Came in for his bat, hoping he can contribute enough with the glove, but the bat is the reason he's here. And put a good swing on that one. All of a sudden, YD down by 4. It's possible.
Drew Bowser at the plate. He hits this ball hard to the right side. Going back on it is Thomas, and Bowser leaves the yard. Back-to-back home runs in the bottom of the 9th for the Red Sox. Drew Bowser joins the parade, and he hits his first home run of the summer. It's 8-5. YD down now just by 3. The 4th run comes across in the bottom of the 9th. It's a 3-run home run from Crew Robinson, and Bowser follows with another.
Number 17, Cade Hunter.
So back-to-back home runs for YD. As Bowser leaves the yard, both of them going to right field, and Cade Smith now getting a talking to.
And they're hoping that Smith can take them through this 9th inning to the end of the game. You'd hate to even get someone up in the bullpen and get seriously warm. There is some action there. You wonder how serious it is for that extra arm, but Smith still with an opportunity. Up by 3, just needs 2 outs. No ducks on the pond, and a very, very struggling Cade Hunter at the plate.
Hunter, though, facing the right-hander. Cade Smith better against the righties than the lefties. 1 out. Bottom of the 9th, already 4 across for YD off the hands of 2 home runs. They came in back-to-back fashion, not just back-to-back batters, but back-to-back pitches. YD left the yard. 1 from Crew Robinson, then the next pitch, Drew Bowser joined the party and hit a home run to right field, as well as Cade Hunter fouls it back. Here against the right-hander, Cade Smith from Mississippi State, making his 3rd appearance of the year. Went 2/3 of an inning, and their 6-3 win over Hyannis earlier this week, and he gets Cade Hunter to strike out. Now there's 2 away in the bottom of the 9th.
Now batter for YD, second baseman, number 3, Wyatt Hoffman.
So YD able to cut into this deficit that before this frame started was 8-1, but now just trailing by 3 runs with 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th.
And Wyatt Hoffman can't score 3 runs on 1 swing. Just get on base and set the table.
And nothing in 2 count. Cade Smith here to Wyatt Hoffman. Swing and a miss. And Bourne's going to take this one. They win their 4th game in a row. YD falls by a score of 8-5 against the Bourne Braves. And they'll be in action tomorrow at Orleans. A final in this one, Bourne 8, YD 5, as Cade Smith gets Wyatt Hoffman to strike out to end the ballgame.
Well, the Red Sox working from behind the 8 ball as they were in the previous Bourne matchup to start. Nolan McCarthy could not get much going for the Red Sox. Just 2/3 of an inning here. Got 4 outs the first time, and Bourne's a tough matchup for anyone, but McCarthy especially. And the silver lining here is that they got Jared Lyons to contribute big time in the bullpen, 4 1/3, and only 1 run allowed. It was a home run. 1 pitch got away from him and only gave up 2 hits in that 4 1/3. But the Red Sox muster out 4 runs in the 9th to make it look a lot closer than it was. This one that was never really close, and Bourne again leaving no doubt in the mind of CCBL fans. They are the best in the league right now.
The Bourne Braves continuing to assert their dominance. They win their 4th in a row, and they increase their advantage atop the West Division. YD uses 5 different pitchers throughout the contest. They get Wyatt Hoffman. He continues to rake. He has a hit. 2 hits from Crew Robinson, including a home run. And Drew Bowser with his first multi-hit game and first home run of the summer as well. Chase Luttrell added in a hit as well, but YD falls by 3 runs, 8-5 a final. And this one, the final line, 8 runs on 7 hits for Bourne with 2 errors, 5 runs, 6 hits for YD, and they committed 1 error. Tomorrow, YD will be in action. They hit the road at Orleans. They'll be at Eldridge Park, 7 o'clock first pitch. Join us at 6:50 right here on YouTube tomorrow. Adam Meyer on the mound for the Red Sox. For Brad Klein, I'm Will Connerly, and have a good rest of your Friday evening, and we'll see you tomorrow at 7 o'clock.